up, guys? Welcome to week 4 of our Return to Sport conditioning program. Hope you guys are following along with us. If not, we have the weeks 1 through 3 posted on our website, so take a look at those. Probably go through those before you get into this one. This one's going to have some progressions, a lot of multi-plane movements, some single leg, jumping, landing. So it's a little more advanced, so make sure you're ready for it. Hey everyone, we got a little different warm-up today. Dynamic mobility. It's a little more intense. It's going to get us ready for some of the jumping, lateral movements, more sport-specific movements we're going to do. So Chelsea's going to show us here. We're going to go 20 seconds each on these first movements. Again, we're starting with that knee to chest, but she's actually adding in a little heel raise. So knee pulls up, keeping that chest high, and then she's coming up onto that heel toe. Good. We're doing 20 seconds. Okay, now she's going to go into a figure 4 stretch. This will work the hip a little bit more, start to open up that hip. Same thing, little heel raise as you get all the way up. Try to power up onto that toe as high as you can, keeping that chest high. Feel a little stretch around that lateral hip. 20 seconds of that. Okay, we're going to go to quad pulls. Now she's going to add in a little reach to this. Get a little pause at that end range, really lengthen. You'll feel this all through the trunk, in through that front of the thigh. Good. Okay, now we're going to go into the lunge, and she's going to add in a rotation, both directions. She's trying to keep that low back and that trunk still as she rotates through the shoulders and her upper back. Good knee alignment. Try to get it around as far as you can. Good. Okay, side to sides. You'll feel this on the inner thigh. Starting to get warmed up here. Just prepping the body for all the harder exercises we're going to do coming up. Good. Okay, now she's going to go into a little downward dog position. Go sideways, good. And then she's just going to pedal out her feet here. So we're lengthening that whole posterior chain, hamstring, calf. Again, we're not holding these stretches prior to our exercises. We're getting the body ready for exercise. We're not trying to actually lengthen muscle right now. Good, okay, let's go high knees. 20 seconds here. Good, again, you're trying to keep that trunk strong, course, nice and tight. Nice tall posture. She's not leaning over as she's doing these. Trying to get those knees as high as she can. Starting to feel that core temperature rising a little bit. Good. Okay, and then we're going to go 20 seconds butt kickers. So that heel towards the butt. You want to try to kind of keep your knees underneath you. Knees stay close together. Good, okay, then we're going to go into high skips.
Ooh.
So she's powering, the knees up.
After those.
Getting all the leg musculature nice and warm. Good. Okay, good. All right, now these we're actually going to do 15 seconds of each. So she's going to go into this forward T position. So a little reach and up. She'll feel a little stretch through the hamstring. She's trying to keep her hips square as she goes down. That back stays nice and flat. Try not to open up that hip that's going back. So those points of the hip stay pointed straight towards the ground as you go forward. Good. 15 seconds each side. Then we're going to go into hip openers. So it's a little tricky. Might take a second to get the rhythm down. She's going one forward, one out. Trying to open up the hips as much as we can. Good, 15 seconds, and then we'll switch to the other side. And good, okay, we're gonna go into some leg swings. So make sure you have enough room for these. You don't kick something in front of you or behind you. You're trying to balance on one leg the whole time and trying to get that other leg up as high as is comfortable. You'll feel a little stretch in the hamstring possibly when you come up. Oh. Still keeping that trunk nice and solid. You'll see that other side stays up the whole time. So she's balancing on one leg while we're starting to loosen up some of that musculature through the back of the leg. Okay, now we're going to go lateral leg swings. So this one you'll need some sort of support, whether it's a wall or a chair or something. And she's swinging as far as is comfortable out and then back across her body. You'll see her hips are rotating with the movement. We want that. Again, 15 seconds each side. Should really start getting warmed up now. We're going to get ready for some higher level jumping impact type stuff, so you want to be nice and warm before you get into that stuff. Okay, we got two more. First one's jump ropes or pogo jumps, so just short little hops. We're going to do 15 seconds, and then we're going to actually get a little bit higher in the next 15 seconds. Soft bend in the knees, you don't want to lock the knees out. Good springy, quiet motion. Getting warm, Chels?
Oh yeah.
Good, okay, last one, we're actually going to work in some pattern movement. Chelsea's going to do a figure 8 through the cones here. May need to pause the video to set this up, but if you watch Chelsea, she's trying to keep her hips forward the whole time as she's going around the cones. Her feet aren't crossing. She's going to do 15 seconds each way. This is the last one. Good, nice short steps as she goes right around the cone. You don't want these big lunging steps. That's how we get injured. Oh.
Time's up.
Time's up. Right at the end. Okay, good. Nice and warm. Here we go into the workout. Equipment for this round. We need a medium resistance band, looped. We want your sliders, so top of a Tupperware, or if you're on hardwood, you can use dish rags. You want some sort of ball. It could be a basketball, soccer ball, volleyball. And then we're going to use a balance pad today. If you don't have this, it can be a pillow, it could be a rolled up yoga mat, just something that's going to challenge your balance a little bit. All right, you ready, Chels?
Sure thing.
Let's do it. So we're going to start with some hip and core, similar to what we did the last week. Chelsea's got the band around her knees. We're going to do 20 standing clamshells. That stance leg is staying real solid, no rotation. She's opening up that right hip. You'll feel this really in both legs. That outer hip muscle should be getting pretty strong on you guys now, week 4. Chelsea's looking rock solid. After 20 of these, we'll go to that other side. these are really a control exercise. We're challenging that plant leg. Think about your jumping leg, or in soccer it's going to be when you plant a kick. We want all those stabilizing muscles nice and solid to avoid any sort of knee injury. A little core stability too. Chelsea's keeping her core nice and tight as she's doing this. And 20, so now we're going to bring the band down to the ankles. We're going to do the standing Jane Fondas. We got 20 reps of these. She's got just a slight bend in her front, or in her stance leg, and the other leg's going out and back against that resistance of the band. You want to try as you're doing this to stay nice and centered through your trunk, so Chelsea's trying not to lean towards her left side. Again, stance leg's going to be working really hard. You'll feel this, both hips, that glute med muscle, posterior glute on the right, a little bit of hamstring. 20 of those. Okay, switch. You also want to try to keep the leg that's working off the ground the whole time. So if you can, we're working that balance on the right side. So she's never putting that left leg down. That right leg has to work the entire time. We got 20 reps there. And 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get your sliders out. We're going to do this a little different than we did last week. We're going to kind of combine some of the earlier weeks. So she's going to start with 15 quick slides back and forth. Trying to keep her pelvis really stable. You're going to feel this in the hamstring. She's going 15 each side. Okay, and then we're going to slow it down, and she's going to do single leg eccentric slides. So hips come up, left leg's at that 90-90 position, and she's going to slow as she can lengthen that right leg. As she gets all the way down, the hips drop, and she just slides back in. Again, trunks nice and still and quiet as she's doing this. We're not seeing rotation. Good, we're gonna do 8 to 10 of these. Chelsea's gonna go for 10, looks like.
You didn't give me the 9.
Yeah. Okay, then we're gonna switch. So same thing, that right leg stays at that 90-90 position. Let's put up a little higher. Good, nice solid trunk. No rotation in her hips. Nice, slow, controlled out. You'll feel that hamstring lengthen and strengthen at the same time. Really good one to prevent those hamstring pulls. A lot of people like to do that hamstring curl, which is not really how that hamstring works when you're playing. It's very much an eccentric muscle. Okay, we got 10 of those each side. All right, then we're gonna do another little progression of our plank series. So Chelsea's gonna come into that side plank. We're timing this one. So she's gonna do 30 seconds, elbow to knee. She's trying to reach up high and then bring that elbow down to her knee, trying to keep the hips the same level away from the ground the whole time. As she's doing this, she's trying not to fold too much at her waist. Good, keeping that nice straight line from her shoulder to her heel. Switcheroo. So we got 30 seconds again. So you'll see that as she comes back down, she's not folding her upper trunk in. She's staying in that tall position, really using that core musculature to stay solid.
Can't see my watch.
Uh-oh. Good?
Oh, yep.
Okay. Now we're going to go into our mountain climbers. So you can do this with or without the sliders. You going with or without?
Let's do with.
Okay. Chelsea's going to use them. So we're going to do a little sprint here with these. So she's going to go into that tall plank position, and then she's going as fast as she can. Again, we're keeping that trunk solid. Try not to let yourself pike up too much. Keep the hips a little lower. Can you see your watch?
It's gonna vibrate.
Smart. Someday. Good, this one's brutal. She's just doing a good job of trying to keep her hips as stable as possible. Good, 30 seconds of that. All right. That's it for our hip core stuff. So we're going to be doing a little more intense dynamic strength work here. So you're going to need some sort of chair, couch, something to get your foot up on. We're going to do a little Bulgarian squat jump. So it's essentially that single leg lunge we did last time, but Chelsea's adding in this hop. We're going to go for 10 of these each side. As she lands, that knee stays in line with her second toe. We're not seeing any collapse of that knee in. We're not seeing her knee go past her toes. She's sinking those hips back and exploding through that foot. Really shouldn't have much weight on your back leg. This front leg's doing all the work. Good. Okay. This out of the way. Come back a little bit, maybe. Okay, so we're going into squat jumps now. So we're going to do 10 in succession. So there's no pause in between these. She's going straight into the next one. Trying to get a little height in there. Good. Perfect. Then we're going to go straight into, we call these L hops. So she's going to hop forward, side, back, back. Forward, side, back to the center, and then backwards. So she hits left, right, left, right. You're alternating feet with each hop.
4.
We're going to do 10 laps of this. She's creeping forward a little bit. She's coming at you. Good. Same principles apply. We're not letting that knee get wobbly. Good, solid landings. Nice, quiet landings. If you're not sweating by now, congrats. This is where it's going to get a little hard. Feel those muscles burning. Trying to elevate that heart rate a little this week too. Good. Landing with that toe straight, knee straight. Nice springy landings.
Last one. Do creep forward.
Okay, good, yep. All right, last one in this series, we're gonna do 3-direction lunge. So we'll have Chelsea doing this facing you first, and then we'll have her turn to the side. So she's gonna lunge forward, side lunge, and then she pivots on that stance leg to about a 45-degree angle out. So forward, side, pivot, and back. We're gonna do 5 laps each direction here. So notice we did not have a lot of break in between these exercises. If you need a break, if you feel like you're getting sloppy with the movement, just hit pause on the video, take a rest and get back into it. Chelsea refuses to take breaks.
Is that 2?
That was 2 laps, yeah.
It's really hard to count when you're tired.
End of 3, yep. We got 1 more. And then we're going into our balance work. That'll be the end of our strength work. Okay, good. All right, so now actually we don't need equipment yet. She's gonna go into the skater hops. We did these standing last time. Now we're gonna add in a little hop. So good landings. That other leg actually comes back behind her, but she's not letting her whole trunk or that knee rotate in. You want to get some length with these hops. Do what you can. I know the legs are getting tired at this point, but challenge yourself to get that good explosive push off, good landing. We're doing 8 to 10 of these each direction. Good, okay. Then you're gonna get your pad out, whatever that might be, your pillow, your yoga mat, and your ball for this one. Hands are getting slippery. So Chelsea's gonna do a progression of the runner stance we did. So she's actually gonna do a chop to that outside knee. And with that pad, it's gonna really challenge that ankle stability. And we're adding in some dynamic movement through her trunk. So this will challenge her core, this will challenge her hip. Her ankle's working hard. We know the legs are a little tired from the workout. That's why we put this balance stuff last. This is when you really need to focus on those stabilizing muscles, even when you're tired. That's when injury can happen. We're doing 8 of these each side. So you chop to that stance leg, and she's doing a good job of lengthening as she comes up into that nice tall runner's pose. If it's just too wobbly, if you want to go without the pad, that's fine. Do what challenges you. You'll still be working without the pad. We got 8 on this side. Okay, last one. We're going to get a little fancy here.
I'm not a basketball
So, reminder, Chelsea is a soccer player.
I cannot palm the soccer ball.
So we're going to go into that same single leg stance. We're going to do through the legs and then back up. So you pass through, back up. She's going to try if she can to not put that right leg down the whole time. Comes up nice and tall, get that knee nice and high when you come up. Reach that leg back when you come down. We're doing 8 passes each direction. Nice.
Last one. Oh.
Things are burning a little bit. Good. Last one on the right. Through the legs. Back up into that runner stance. reach back with that left leg and then get it nice and high on the way up. You can do this with a tennis ball, really anything you have to just pass in between the legs. Obviously, the bigger the ball, the harder it's going to be. One more.
Yep. Sounds about right.
There we go. Week 4 down. 2 more to go. See you next week.